Hey church, this is Pastor Matt here. This is going to be our installment that focuses on how to use your administrative settings inside of your group. So if you're not a life group leader, you probably don't need to click on this video. It's not going to have a whole lot of real important information for you. If you're just a general user, you probably already know the things you want to. And if you have no idea how I even got to this point, go review some of the earlier videos in this series. It'll catch you up on how to log in and how to navigate some basic things. This is going to be a touch more advanced, but still, it's not difficult. I'm telling you, if you can work Facebook, you can learn this system. So let's jump right into it. Here we are. We're in my group, and so we'll just operate in my group right now. I'm going to show you my participants list. It's right here. There's my cursor. So when I open that up, it shows you everyone that's in my group, the Millers, the Walters, Butlers, Collins, Beers, Backs. And let's say we want to add some folks. Go here to the right. Two ways you can do it. You can search from the database, or you can just put them right in there. I would tell you, don't use the search parameter. I can't think of any scenario where you're having to search other than if you forgot someone's name and you're just doing the best you can. That'd be the exception. But we're typically only going to put people in our group that want to be in our group and have knowledge that we're putting them in our group. So we're going to go to very specific people. And you're going to see this screen here. You got two options. Again, you can search for someone. So say, for instance, you only knew my last name was Beers and you didn't know my first name was Matthew. Obviously, you can use this feature. But most of the time, use this one right here, people by name. And why don't we add the Clarks? They're pretty cool folks. So we want the Clarks to be in our group. And let's say they've agreed to it and they really want to do life with us. So we have Bill and Sherry. You could invite them if you wanted to make this in the form of a question. You can even email them. You say, "You are awesome. Join my group." And you can hit send now. We won't do that to them. They'll be confused if we did that. But we're going to delete that. Click back over to add directly. And now that they're set up like this, as soon as I hit add now, well, this is just it's just kind of a warning saying, hey, I'm over limit, but that's okay. I can override the limit, and I can say, hey, you're in my group. Go back to group, and I'm on the participants tab, and then there we are. We got them. We got the Clarks right here. So it's really that simple to add someone. Now, how do you manage the list? That's a touch more difficult, but still not crazy. Come up to group actions now, top right, hit your drop down, edit participant list. Now, there's a lot of stuff you can do down here, and I would tell you you're probably not going to need any of them. In the future, we will do more with attendance groupings. Don't worry about that right now. You don't need to print. You don't need to send a mail merge. Twext is a tweet and a text combo. That is very involved process, so that would be a different video altogether. For now, let's stick to the basics. So we're going to click Edit Participants List. It brings you into a different view. You can see here the names of my participants. And what we got to do at this point is we got to take the Clarks out. We love the Clarks, but they are their own group leaders. So I'm going to check both of their boxes by their name. And everything that happens here is done in this drop down. At this point, I just want to remove them from the group. So I click that. And I have to hit OK. And watch, they're going to disappear. They're gone. That's really how easy it is. If you've got an outdated group and you need to kind of call some members, that's how it's done. A couple more options you have. Let's say Alex wants to be an assistant leader. He's, let's say Michelle does email follow-up and thanks everyone for coming, and Alex's job is to be food coordinator guy. We can click here on our drop-down again, and we can make him an assistant leader. I have to hit OK or else it won't save. And then look at that. See how it changes pretty quickly. And then let's say, man, it's just too much work. Alex doesn't want to coordinate food anymore. That's not a problem. We're going to check his box. We're going to come to our drop down, and we are just going to make him a group member. He'll go back to a regular status group member. You will not need these tabs hardly ever. I'd pretty much leave this on all participants. This just gives you different views. You can get into the leadership. But I would, 99% of the time, you're going to be on all participants. Now, you can change the main leader, which is fairly simple. Click on Change Main Leader. And it can't be your name. So let's say if Michelle wants to be the group leader and I'm handing the torch, I simply click that, and then bam, automatically, there we go. She's the group leader. I've been jumped down to assistant. But we are going to change it back now. So look how easy. Change the main leader. And now I'm going to type my name. I know that's me. And there we go. That was as simple as that. And all that's happening is when I type in someone's name, the system is searching at the same time, and it will bring their name up even with just a few letters, kind of like a Google search or something like that. So there you go. That's how to change the main leader. This tab right here, add or invite new people, it's the same thing you've seen earlier. I just showed you the shortcut earlier. And again, you can add people by name. You could search for them. If you want to get back, say you didn't mean to click on that, go back to the edit participants list. And that's it. That's what you'll need to know for this. The only exception is, for some reason, if you are not a life group leader, but maybe you're a volunteer group leader. So the best example I can give you would be Travis Risher, our First Steps director. He is the director. And so if this was a volunteer group for Sunday morning, so what we call it is our guest services. That's our flag, our parking team. That is our host, which Penny Grubbs leads. That would be our ushers, which is Austin Camp. So the coffee team, which I actually don't know who his point leader is. I think Bob Lindsay may be leading that. Those folks we would consider coaches. So Penny would be the coach of our hosts, and Austin would be the coach. Travis is the director. That's how you would change these. It's again, simple process, just like changing the main leader. Don't worry about doing that for life groups. You're likely not going to need that many layers. I'm just trying to make you aware of that. That's the main portion. I mean, you guys will use this more than anything else when you're managing your group. But let's say you want to figure out your group settings. I'll try to go quick so this video isn't too long, but you'll do the same thing. You see what I did there? I just click back to group. If you're ever unsure of what to do, always click back to group. For some reason you forget that, you'll have to go all the way to the groups again and find yourself. So it's just a little simpler. Drop down to group actions. I'm now in edit group settings. And now, I mean, you're into everything. You're on the total admin side. So here's how mine's set up. If you want to add a graphic or an image, that's how you do it right here. You can delete it the same way right there. This is a brief description of our group. Type is home group, but there's other options. There's actually a lot. You could be an outreach team, serving, activity, class. So you'll see that when you hit the drop down. This one's a home group. We do offer childcare, so we click that. Couples, we are, we're geared towards reaching couples. We didn't limit anyone into the parent stage, although you can say preschool moms only, or you could say couples with elementary children only. We didn't feel the need to do that, but you're welcome to. We made ours 23 through 40. The reality is this is a group for people with young children, but folks have kids at all different life stages, so we wanted to relatively group them, but don't feel like you have to limit folks too much on this. This is not a big deal. We just encourage people to do life with people in the same stage of life. There's no rule saying that you can't, though. You can connect to Twitter, and that's what that Twext was again, but we won't get into all that today. This is general settings, when and where. Meeting time Sunday. Of course, you got the days of the week as an option. Meeting time is fairly limited, just morning, afternoon, evening. We meet in the evening. It's my address, so this you can upload where you're going to be. Options. And this gets a little more fine-tuning here. I've got my email notifications turned on. That way it actually says email group leaders when participants change status. So if someone leaves the group, it's going to shoot me an email saying, hey, Bill Clark left the group, just so you know. Interaction type is an announcement only. You've got a couple others where members can interact. That's perfectly fine. You can almost use it like a chat room. We don't use it for that, so I keep it on announcement only. Membership type, I've got invitation or request. That was that screen I showed you, the two different ways you can add people in. This could be open to all, so it could be a public group. I would recommend you leave it here. Logged in users can see the group. Public search, people can search for the group. These are just listings that you have the option. You can remove those by clicking those. I turn all these on, the needs, the files, the messages. It's features your group members can use. Communications default. Again, you probably don't need to mess with this, but you can control whether or not you see emails from the group, receive comments from the group. I don't care to get a weekly summary on the group's activity. That's just not important to me. You may want to see that, so you would just click that box. And that's it. You've got a calendar address if you wanted to copy and paste somewhere. That's all the options there. Administratively, you will rarely do anything with this, but if you do, you'd probably change your group participant limit. We set ours at 10 just by the physical limitations of my house. In fact, we're already over. We're actually at 12. I think we're getting ready to add 14, so we'll be birthing a new group as soon as possible just for space. But most of these other settings, they're pretty self-explanatory. You probably aren't going to use them a whole lot. So feel free to look in here. I wouldn't mess with it at all. But those are your options available to you. That's how to use these more advanced settings in your groups. Now at this point, I can save or cancel. We didn't do anything, so I'm just going to cancel. And it should kick me back into my main group portal there. Yep, there we go. Back to where we started. So that's it. There's more detail we could go into. Hopefully this gave you a decent overview, give you some idea of what's going on. As always, if you guys have more questions, feel free to contact me, reach out. I'll do anything I can to help you guys navigate this. But by this point, you are becoming a seasoned pro at CCB. I hope this video series has been helpful. Stay tuned for more videos in the future. I'll try to do more as updates get released. And if I notice there's a lot of different questions coming up, we'll do what we can to keep you guys in the loop. All right, we love you. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you Sunday.